Hi everyone, this is Holly from Hot Humble Pie. Welcome to my Christmas series. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. For this craft, you're going to need 3 jars. I used spaghetti sauce jars. I took them outside and spray painted them and then gave them a little light sand, and I'm going to glue some of the Dollar Tree burlap ribbon around it. I actually used organic spaghetti sauce from Aldi's, in case you guys are curious. They're mason jars. They say mason on the top. See that? So when you sand them, that shows up, and they are perfect for farmhouse decor. So keep your eye out for those. And now I'm taking some of the Dollar Tree twine. I'm going to wrap it around the top. I love that look. But I found the easiest way to wrap these around the top is to start by tying them on the top. And because there's little ridges on the top where the lid's screwed on, I had to go really slow to get a nice even spread. I don't know if that makes sense, but I didn't want them all clumped together in one area, stuck in the groove. So just take your time with that. It looks really good, but take your time. And now I'm taking more of the jute twine, and I'm going to go ahead and hang those little snowball thingies of pom-poms. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love pom-poms. They have these little white pom-poms at the Dollar Tree. You could make them too if you wanted to out of yarn. There's lots of YouTube videos out there how to make pom-poms, but I went ahead and bought these. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of make some cute little hanging snowballs off of this because this is a winter craft. And I don't know about you guys, but I found out if I decorate with a little bit of cozy winter decor, and I put that up as a transition from Christmas, out of Christmas, I guess, from all the sparkle and everything. It really helps because my husband and I, we were getting a little down. We had this like amazing decor with all these sparkle lights and everything, and then nothing. So now I put up fairy lights, I put up winter decor, and it really, really helps keep the magic going all through January and up until Valentine's Day. And of course, the decor changes a little bit again. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that, so I'm going to show you one more time. The way I get the jute twine to look like it's sticking out of the little pom-pom is I put a little drop of glue on the pom-pom. You'll see me do it here. And I lay the jute twine on it, and then I roll the pom-pom around and pinch it together, and then I kind of shape it as it's cooling down and drying, and then the twine looks like it comes right out of the center of the pom-pom. So it's a nice little trick. And I'm just using some of that Dollar Tree confetti, gluing it on the front there because they have these really pretty sparkly snowflakes. This is when I do like sparkles, you guys. For the winter decor, I love a little bit of sparkle because, you know, snow glistens if you go outside. Not that I get snow where I live, but I used to live up in the mountains and it snowed, and I remember how much it sparkled when the sunlight hit it. It's so beautiful. And of course, I'm adding some bells here because I just thought that was a nice little touch. I think that's cute. And this is what we end up with, and I love this. Today I'm taking part in Heidi Sambal's Friend Friday Hop, and linked down below in my description box is a link to the next channel in the hop. Now each channel will be linked to the next person in the hop, which will take you eventually around the full crafter circle. But the neat thing about these Friend Friday hops, you guys, is that they always have a giveaway, and this week's giveaway is a $375 Amazon gift card. All of the creators in this hop made a $25 contribution to make that happen. But in order to be entered into that giveaway, you must leave a comment underneath everybody's video as you go around the circle and enjoy the Christmas spirit and all the crafts. And it's our way of giving back and showing appreciation and just letting you guys know how much we love you. So good luck, everybody. For this next craft, I used the snowflakes from the Dollar Tree and some garnish from the Dollar Tree, including that banner that I talk about in previous videos in the birthday aisle there. That little burlap banner, it is great for embellishment. Now, these snowflakes were originally covered with this cheap white tinsel, and I tore it off. It was gray. I took it outside, I spray painted it white, and now I'm taking some burnt umber and I'm just going around the outer edge. So I'm not going to go in the center of like it's like two different levels. There's a lower level to the snowflake that you can see, and then a higher level. So I want the higher level to pop out because it will look 3D, but I want the lower level to be a little shadowed and a little distressed. And now I'm just taking some of the Dollar Tree pine. For those of you that watch my channel, you've seen me do this many times. I give it a haircut really short, and it really kicks that Dollar Tree pine up to a more expensive looking pine, especially if you flock it, which is always an option. But today, because I'm just, I have a white snowflake, I thought flocking would make it look, it would disappear. So we're going to leave it green, and I'm going to cut 6 different separate pieces. Now, I got my inspiration from a Farmhouse catalog that actually had a snowflake that looked identical to this. They were hanging separate, they weren't attached, but they painted their silver. Oh, actually, they probably didn't paint it silver, it was probably metal. But anyway, I wanted mine to at least stay white like a regular old snowflake. So, you always have to make your craft your own. So I'm changing it up a little bit, but I loved how they decorated it and how they made it look, rustic and farmhouse. So now I'm cutting up that banner. I mentioned it earlier just to rehash. That is in the birthday section at my Dollar Trees. It's like a little banner you can buy, and it's all year round. So hopefully you guys can find that too. It's a great way to get a hold of some really quick, cheap burlap without having to commit to going to another store or buying a whole, half a yard or a quarter yard. Really easy way to get it for just embellishment. And we're going to do the little snowball trick again here, so you'll get to see it one more time if you missed it in the first DIY. That's how I get it to attach to the twine without it looking like it's glued on the back. I'm going to show you up close now. Sorry, it's blurry. My camera does up close, but if I move too quick, I'll make it blurry without realizing it's blurry, but at least you can see what I did there. So hopefully you got the picture. And I got a new camera. I'm still learning how to use it, you guys, so forgive me. I have to look on the manual there on the PDF to see how to work my camera. It's like this amazing camera, but I don't really know what I'm doing with it yet. So what you saw me do there was tie a little knot at the top, because after experimenting with it a little bit, I found that the twine was just kind of wonky and it was going all in different directions. But if I tied the knot, it made the little snowball pom-poms there hang more like bells at the bottom and just look a little more elegant hanging down together, and it was easier to glue on. And then I just added some pine cones, and I had this little beautiful sparkly little snowflakes left over from a Michael's floral pick that I got, but I love the way these came out. This next DIY is really easy. This is a Dollar Tree ornament and some napkins that I got last year on the clearance in the Christmas section at Target. I think I only spent like 97 cents. And a window box house from the Dollar Tree. It is such an elegant, simple DIY. I absolutely love the way this came out, and it was just your old-fashioned, good old-fashioned decoupage napkin trick. Does wonders, and it just really, really looks elegant when it's done. So the first thing I do is I trace this napkin out, and then I'm going to cut it out, and there are 2 layers there. I do pull the white layer off to make the top layer with the design on it, with the little snowflakes there, as thin as possible. And now I'm just pouring in some Mod Podge, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this napkin down. So after I looked at it, I pulled it back. I decided I didn't want this natural wood after all. I was kind of going for the natural forest, natural wood, because it's a winter craft. But this little guy was so elegant. He is so elegant. It's so weird how just a cheap dollar ornament, because of the glitter, it just looks so magical when I was working with it. I decided we're going to go with black, and I painted the inside and the sides. You know, you don't actually have to have one of these houses, you guys. You could just use any window box for this. You could even make one out of painter sticks and maybe poster board in the back if you're going to cover it, but it came up so elegant, and it's such a great craft for winter. For this craft, you're going to need a Dollar Tree Let It Snow wooden sign, and I took it outside and gave it a coat of white spray paint. And today I'm using one of these utility panels from Home Depot. They probably sell them at Lowe's too, or any big like home store. This is the same thickness, 1/8 inch, as the Dollar Tree signs are. Now, I've spoken about this before in previous videos. You can get 41 of the narrow rectangle Dollar Tree signs out of this board, and about 35 to 36 of the square signs. Now, they're just the standard signs that Dollar Tree has out every year. Whenever you see a square one, they're like a certain square, and whenever you see a rectangle one, they're a certain rectangle that's real skinny. So for me, since I do a lot of crafts, that would be 36 to $41. So this is a much better deal, and I have a little mini circular saw that I cut with that is perfect for this. So the next sign that's coming up here that I'm going to make is going to be equal to 3 of the rectangle Dollar Tree signs. You sometimes see creators glue those together using craft sticks or painter sticks, but this is another reason I love using that wood, because you can keep it all in one piece. So I took this board outside, I spray painted it with black spray paint, and then I just misted it with white spray paint just on the right side of the board. And I purposely, towards the end, barely sprayed the little knob down. I don't know what that's called, that little top sprayer part. I'm drawing a blank, but I did it so it would drip and leave like the little blots you see, so it would look a bit like snow. But this theme for this little piece of art here is going to be like a winter night, like a magical winter night. I used to live in the mountains, and there was always fog, and the moon would light up the trees like this, and I could see the snow. I miss the snow a lot, and it was just so beautiful. So I'm trying to catch the energy of that in this craft. Now, I am not a painter, you guys, by any stretch of the imagination. For those of you that watched the previous video where I painted a pine tree, I literally just dry brush at an angle downwards like that and paint my trees. This time I chose to use a little more paint on it, but the most important part of this whole thing is that you dry in between each layer. If you want to get that 3D look and that dimension look that makes it kind of look real soft and magical, you have to dry in between each layer. And I started with the middle tree first because I want that one to look like it's further back, and the 2 on the side, either side is forwards. Now, you're going to see me make a mistake, and I left it in here on purpose to prove to you that I'm not that good of a painter. This is why, you guys, I spray painted and I didn't paint the board with acrylic paint, because I knew if I made a mistake, it would allow me to take a sponge and scrub the acrylic paint off without damaging the board underneath, as long as you don't do it too hard. So keep that in mind too. If you guys aren't good at painting or you're not confident, for the base, like the canvas, use spray paint, because that, obviously the adhesion is much stronger. I use black primer spray paint. So I am working with 3 colors here. I have the forest green that I start with first, and then I move on to a standard Christmas green. You can use any Christmas green you want. You just want a brighter, lighter green. And I do all of this. You're going to see me do all of this. And I put a little snow on it, and I don't like it. So you'll see what it looks like when I wipe it away. And there I go. I lightly wipe away the snow. It was the snow part I didn't like, you guys. So if you do that, don't worry. I'm showing you. We always say this, crafters, don't worry. You can always paint over it. This is what you will have if you have to wipe it away, depending on how hard you scrub. I mean, you can go all the way down to the black, but you can start over, so don't panic. So this time I just got more definite lines in there. As you can see, the green, there's definitely more lines that look like pine in there. And now I'm adding the snow. And you know, in the end, it came up beautiful. I figured out, see how I'm kind of adding little chunky bits of white here and there? That's what I figured out made it look 3D when you start adding the snow. You can't overly dry brush with the white snow or you'll get too much of a blended look. You definitely have to have more paint on your brush and do those definite little chunks of white so it looks like it has snow on it. But I was really pleased with it when we were all done. It got a little scary there for a bit. So now I'm just taking a little brush and I'm going to do my snowflakes all over this picture. And that's it. It's a lot of fun to do, you guys. I recommend you try. Just keep practicing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just as long as when you're done, you're happy and you're getting the feeling you want. And remember, you can always wipe it away and start again. For the trunks, I just used Territorial Beige, and now I'm going over it with the Burnt Umber. Now you saw me turn the brush sideways just to give it those little lines, because you know how the tree trunks kind of have those little lines in them. If you're ever in the forest, it goes both vertical and sideways, I guess horizontal. So last I brush over it vertical again to kind of blend it in, but I wanted that dimension in there, so it added a little realism. And of course, lastly, I'm going to glue the sign down. Now, see that hole at the top? That is driving me nuts. I tried painting it white and you still could see it, and it was just making the picture go from looking really high-end to just cheap. So I did whip out my spackling, and that's called polyfilla, you guys, in other countries. I don't know the name of it in all the other countries, but just something, a multi-purpose filler, I guess someone said, that will fill the holes. That's what you use. And then a nice little trick I've been doing for 25, 30 years, I'm not even sure now, forever, is hot glue while it's still hot. Use masking tape, put it down on top of it, and it kind of like melts the tape into it and makes a wonderful bond. But this is what we end up with, you guys, and I love this. I'd like to take this moment to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas. And around the world, I wish you love and peace. Until the next video, breathe deep, fret not, and do things that make you happy.
We wish you